Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to be talking about what I think are the top 5 tips that any new Maplestory new reboot player needs to know for their journey. And while I'm talking about it, I'm just going to be doing my dailies in the background because someone wanted to see how I did um, one of the dailies. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, before I start, I just want to mention if you guys like this content, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the bell, turn on notifications. I don't even know what that means. Just do it because I think every other YouTuber also says the same thing. So do it. um, but yeah, so today I wanted to talk about 5 things that I like to think I'm an experienced Maplestory player. Been playing this game for a long time. Started in like I don't know, 2009. So it's been 10 years. Game's definitely changed a bunch. So I guess a lot of the guides, so to speak, on YouTube are pretty out of date, especially since no one really cares to update them because why would you? The game is you know, you know what I mean. um, but yeah, okay. So to start off, my first tip for any new reboot player in particular is to make a Kana. So if you guys don't know, a big part of Reboot and why a lot of people call Reboot Farming Simulator is because you need to pretty much farm mesos a lot. That's going to be a majority of your time playing this game. And the best way and most efficient way to do that is to have a Kana. For those of you who have been living under a rock and don't know, what Kana does is she has a skill called Kishin something, Shukan I believe, or whatever. I probably butchered the hell out of it, so please forgive me. But basically what it does is increases the mob spawn rate on your map, and by doing so you can kill more monsters quicker, and by that you get more of these meso drops, which is pretty much how you're going to be able to sustain yourself in Maplestory. This works in particularly well for Reboot because in Reboot, every single character has a skill, I believe right here, where your meso drop rate is 6 times, your increased boss equipment drop rate, and blah blah, all that stuff. This buff is pretty much what allows you to farm so well. So the meso drops in Reboot are 5 times the actual meso value in regular servers. So I'm getting 10k meso bags right now. In regular Maplestory, that would be 2k, which is why Kana is so essential, because by increasing uh, the max number of mobs in the map, you can kill more, and also it simultaneously increases the spawn rate or decreases the spawn rate. So you get 2 for 1 in one skill, which is pretty much why Kana is now the meta for meso farming. For the second big tip is pretty obvious, I think, but that's just to pick your main. So a lot of people, when playing Maplestory, see, oh, this class is super strong, blah, 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 does a ton of damage, that's the class I want to play. I highly advise against that because a lot of times the strongest classes, cough cough, hero, or one of the strongest classes rather, have some part of it that's less ideal to people, and there's like a balance that you definitely have to find out for yourself. And for those of you who don't know how to pick a main, my biggest suggestion would be to just play characters. I mean, it seems kind of weird that that would be a way to pick your main, but it's pretty much how you do it. I advise going onto YouTube, searching up different classes on Maplestory. I know there's a couple YouTubers out there who have a lot of guides on different classes and like how to play them, how the mechanics work. So I don't know. I don't usually think those are a good way to indicate whether or not you'll enjoy a class, but playing it for yourself is definitely a good part because no matter what, you need to level 40 characters to level 200. I mean, not 200, level 150 anyways for Legion. If you do decide to get to that point in the game. And doing so during that time, that experimental phase, I guess, you can find out if there's a class that really sticks out to you. Maybe you really like Kana, and in that case, well, that really works out well because your main is also your Meso farmer. And yeah, I forgot to mention, if you're one of the people who out there who have two computers, I advise making two Kanas, both of them to level 150, so that when you're training your Meso farmer, your first character, and I highly recommend making your Kana your first character so you can start farming Mesos before you make your main. Um, that you make a second Kana, another Kana that's also level 150, so that when you're training your mules or your main character, you have Kishin that will help speed up your your process. And if not, there's alternatives like if you do your daily maple reward points, you can get a Fury Totem, which is the exact same thing as Kishin, except it only lasts for 2 hours and it's an item that you have to self-cast. But besides that, is exactly like Kishin. But yeah, back to picking your main. One of the ways that I recommend going about playing different characters is going by the importance. So in Maplestory, we have a system called link skills. As you can see here, I have 9 link skills in total. These link skills are give you a big portion of your damage and like not end game stat, but like stat buffs. So Kana gives 10% increased damage that you can transfer between your characters once per day. That's why I also recommend making Kana first because you'll get this 10% damage buff, which will make training your mules a lot easier. And then next, there's many different characters. You have Demon Slayer that gives boss damage, Phantom that gives critical rate, Shade that gives fatal survival, Aaron that gives EXP, Evan that gives EXP, Mercedes that gives EXP, Jet that has one of the best link skills, but it's also pay to win, and then Beast Tamer, which gives a bunch of stat. So I'm pretty sure on Google there's a lot of guides highlighting which link skills you should make first. Personally, I always recommend making Evan, Aaron, and Mercedes first in no particular order because I think all three of these are pretty equally weighted when you're training early game characters. Maybe Evan just because of the rune duration. But besides that, yeah. Aaron, Evan, Mercedes will make training the rest of your characters a lot faster. So I definitely start off with Kana first, Aaron, Evan, Mercedes in any order, and then just continuing on from there. And if that wasn't enough to get you playing multiple characters, I know it can be really boring, but I think a lot of times when people think of playing Maplestory, they get turned off by the fact that you could play forever and not get anywhere. Um, but the whole point is during this experimental phase is that you can also build up your Legion grid. So basically what happens is as you approach the highest total level of 10,000, you get more and more of these squares. Critical damage is a critical part of the game, so it's boss damage and maybe critical rate and ignore defense. But besides that, you have all these character cards down here. Say Kana gives another 5% boss damage, Jet gives 3% critical damage, which are all amazing I guess, contributors to final damage towards the late game, which is why a lot of people edge so hard to try and get 8,000 Legion, because that's pretty much when your board will be maxed out. But yeah, I highly recommend when you're picking a main to pick a character that you enjoy playing, not one that's strong, because oftentimes strong characters get nerfed and then your whole motivation for playing that character goes away pretty quickly because Nexon says, hey, you're too strong and your time in the limelight is over. So yeah, make sure It's a class you really enjoy playing because is what's gonna keep you motivated and keep you playing this game for a long time. And now, before I get to my third tip, I'm gonna talk about something that I addressed in my last video. So my last video, I stated out at some timestamp, I think it was 622, 625, something like that, offering boss carries to people. And I do enjoy helping people out in that aspect because I know I wouldn't have been able to get this far in Reboot without boss carries. So rather than my last idea, which was to um, whatever, to buddy you and make a system, I decided to make a Discord server. I'm gonna leave the link down below in the description, so whoever's still listening, still watching this video, you'll be the first to know. The link is a public link, so feel free to share with any of your friends who are also looking for carries, and all that. So I have all the information located inside the info channel in that server. So if just all you have to do is read that and follow the instructions, and then pretty much you're just waiting from there. Just keep in mind I'm only one person, I can only do so much, so yeah. Since this video is getting pretty long, I'm gonna go straight to Dream Defender, which is I think what someone was interested in. And now I'll go to the third tip. And actually I'll talk about it before I start. So one of the biggest things about Maplestory is that all of your gear pretty much come from some story within the game or some boss. For example, your armors, your CRA armor comes from Root Abyss. Your Superior Gollux accessories come from Gollux. And your Absolab comes from Lotus and Damien. So I guess the third tip is to just rush and do your boss prequests early. I know this might seem obvious, but I know for me when I first started, I was really lazy, didn't want to go through all the cutscenes, all the quests, because I just wanted to train to level 200, farm for 10 hours, and then cube my gear. But the whole point of doing your boss prequests is to get your gear that you're going to eventually end up cubing, because you don't want to end up wasting, say, I don't have like 20 bill cubing an aquatic eye accessory later to replace it with a Sweetwater, you know? You want to make sure that for all the mesas that you spent your hard grinded hours on farming, that they go to the right place so you don't have to end up replacing them later with your end game gear. And this, if you guys want to take a screenshot, is pretty much what's considered your end game gears. Your Gollux, your Meister, your Superior, your CRA, Absolab, and your Suar Earring. Your secondary, Emblem. Emblem is going to be on a class by class basis, but your secondary is definitely going to be the Princess No. I don't have that as an important prequest just because you really don't need to do it right away, because your biggest benefit from it is this Kana ring and a Princess No secondary, which can come later in the game. But yeah, but the three that I emphasize without a doubt in this order is Gollux, Root Abyss, Lotus, and Damien. So Gollux you can start immediately after you hit level 150 and you're just doing a bunch of mob killings and then looting. So what happens is you loot a bunch of items, turn it into a guide, repeat the process and until you're done. There's a lot of guides on YouTube, so I won't go into it very deeply because it's pretty out there. Next is Root Abyss. This goes without saying that CRA has been the best armor set for hat, top, maybe not hat, but definitely for top and bottom since release. And the prequest, all you have to do is start the Root Abyss quest line from your Lightbulb tab, and all these quests I'm pretty sure you can start from your Lightbulb tab. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. It's about level 120, I think, and all you have to do is kill each Root Abyss boss 10 times. So it will take a minimum of 10 days to complete, but each one of those days, you just want to make sure you get someone to take you through the boss, or if you're strong enough to kill it yourself. The bosses itself aren't that hard, You could probably do it with like 200, 300k range, but if not, there'll be another way to do it, which I will go over very shortly. Lotus and Damien, they're the Maplestory blockbusters of events. I think you have to be level 200 or 180 to start them. Again, I might be wrong. But what you do is you go through Black Heaven Act and the one for Damien, I completely forgot. Lotus is the Black Heaven Act, and that one you have to complete all the chapters completely all the way through. It takes about 3 to 4 hours, which is a really long time, but you definitely want to get these done so that you can start getting carried. Um, because you do want to make sure that you have, I think, 10 of the extraordinary cores, and then you need 2 or 7 of the twisted stigma spirit stones. And then that way you can also farm dailies, get this drop so that you can start getting your Absolab gear later. And the sooner the better, because the longer you wait, the longer your mesos are just going to sit there, and you really, really want that gear, that cubed up Star Forest and ready to go so you can efficiently clear content through the game. Okay. Tip number 4 is actually kind of strange. So I primarily played in regular server. My main server right now is Windia, for those of you who don't know. And in regular server, things are unique. In a lot of guilds are very exclusive because of the whole legitimacy hacker scammer trader thing that happens in reg server when you can trade people. So one of the downsides of playing regular server is that a lot of guilds aren't gonna trust you right off the bat, especially if you're a new player. But in Reboot, there is no trading, so therefore you cannot scam people. And can't scam people, and guilds are more open to recruitment. And pretty much joining a guild isn't too hard. All you have to do is look out for the Smegas or join the Maple Central Discord channel. And a lot of guilds are often recruiting on there, and their requirements are usually pretty easy to attain. You just have to be like level 200 active, and pretty much all you have to do every day is GP cap to keep the guild leader happy. And GP capping is another kind of like excuse to get your Root Abyss carries in if you can't solo it. All you have to do in guild is say, does anyone want a GP cap? And just run through the 4 Root Abyss bosses and like maybe Zachem or Magnus. And that's pretty much like a tip within a tip to get your Root Abyss dailies done. But yeah, I really emphasize joining a guild because a lot of times the members in the guild are strong enough to carry bosses, and pretty much on a weekly basis do carry bosses. So joining one is pretty vital. I know I joined Delight when I first started. I was around level 200, just meeting the level requirement, and all I had to do was whisper the guild leader like, hey, I'm a new player, can I join? This is my main character. Just make sure you emphasize it's your main character, and you should be good to go because a lot of people want their guild to be active. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Just remember GP cap daily, and if you don't know how that works, just ask your guild member or wait for someone to say anyone want a GP cap, and just get yourself involved. I might actually fail this. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, okay. And then tip number 5 is also based off of Kana. So my 5th tip is to spend your first however many billion mesos. This is completely based off of luck and RNG. Okay, I don't want to do this. Based off of luck and RNG. So remember the first tip, make a Kana. Well, when you're farming on a brand new Kana account, the one thing that you won't have is percent meso. And what I mean is this potential line right here on my reboot ring. It says mesos obtained plus 20%. So in this game, from items, so only accessories, you can only roll the meso obtained percent on accessory items. The maximum amount of meso percent you can achieve is 100% from your armor. So with that in mind, your inner ability is also another facet is another outlet to say where you can get more meso drop. So the highest line you can get on here is 20%. And if you have Phantom Legion done, that's another 3%. So total, you can get 123% meso drop rate for your farming. And to do that, you have to get 5 accessories, two of which are going to come from, three of which are going to come from Horntail, which is going to be the earring, ring, pendant, and you're going to get the face and eye from Zakum. If you can't kill Horntail at a particular moment, um, message me, join my Discord room, and ask for a Horntail carry. I don't mind taking people. But once you get those 5, what you want to do is do the U Garden dailies. Again, YouTube that if you don't know what the U Garden dailies are. You get the epic potential scrolls on a daily basis. From there, once you get all 5 of them epic and you have about a bill saved up, I recommend farming a bill, using it, farming a bill, using it, so that you can try to tier up to legendary and get 20% meso obtained one at a time. And each time you do, your meso drop rate is going to increase on an hourly rate. And from there, it's kind of like a cycle until you cap out. But pretty much what happens is you'll go from about 250 to 300 million mesos an hour to about 600 roughly per hour. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a meso guide. That is another video that I have uploaded in my channel that I may or may not leave in a link below, but if you really want to see it, you can go find it. It's not that hard. It's like 6 or 7 videos before this one. And there you can learn how to use a Kana, how to farm efficiently and all that, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up my 5 big tips about playing Maplestory Reboot. And just because you made it to the end, I'm going to tell you now on a very widely known secret that you may or may not be doing. But every single year, Nexon will have multiple events called burning events. And if you haven't been doing them, or if you don't know what they are, just watch out for them. They announce it every single time they're doing it. But a burning event is when they give characters a special level up, I guess, bonus. So every time you level up, you get 2 additional level ups, and usually that applies up to level 150. But recently we had one that applied to level 200, and it really helps out training because you're only doing 1/3 of the actual levels. So that speeds up your timing by a lot, increases efficiency, which is pretty much the only way you'll be able to get through all the boring stuff efficiently is by taking advantage of events, especially right now, like the adventure event, super good. EXP back, I actually don't know if this event's very good, but you don't do anything for it. So yeah, just I highly recommend every single time Nexon releases a big patch notes, skim through it and see if there's anything that can help you. Oftentimes there'll be a shop that have epic potential scrolls, will have cubes, will have flames, will have a whole bunch of stuff that you can use to help your process in getting into later stages of the game quicker and faster. I'm not saying that by following these tips you'll be able to achieve what I've done. You might if you're really dedicated and have a really thorough understanding of this game. But I really have to stress to you guys that Reboot is very much so a grinding game. You will have to work for every single little thing you want, so be prepared for that. I know a lot of people enjoy it because they can see progress just by playing the game, which is a lot of reason why I think I like reboots, because I can see my progress just by playing it. Like recently I cleared Will, and yeah, I guess that's gonna wrap up this video. Just remember in the link description down below, I'm gonna have a link to my Discord channel. Join it, follow the directions on the info page channel, and yeah, do it if you guys want a boss carry. Don't do it, do it. But just remember to subscribe because one day I believe there will be too many people to carry, and I'm gonna prioritize subscribers. And you'll see all of that stuff if you decide to go into the server. So yeah, thanks for watching this 25-minute video. I know it's a lot longer than my normal videos, but I just feel like there's some things people need to know if they really want to just get through the challenging parts of this game and start having a little more fun. So yeah, see you guys next time. Hope you all have a great summer.